Hello everyone, we're in the top right now, so pay attention up there because I want to show all the skills. This is my favorite party setup, and we'll kind of go through the skills in which I think you should have. We'll talk about ones if you don't have all the shrines, and we'll talk about ones if you do have all the shrines. I cannot remember for the life of me if the skills are in order of how you do the shrines. I don't think so. I think they do categorize differently afterwards, so forgive me if I don't remember all of the skills and where they unlock. I'll generally remember where they do, but not completely. So let's start from front to back, because the front row in Darkest Dungeon 2 is much more important than the back row. Your back row options are pretty much already defined, so there won't be too many variations between all of that. Because we have the runaway in this party, point blank's a must, and I know point blank is the first skill you'll unlock with a shrine. I'm not really a fan of tracking shot or pistol shot. If I had to take one off only to have a couple of skills on, honestly, removing the dodge can be pretty good against some types of cultist fights. And pistol shot, I mean, it hits 4th position, but for the most part, that's probably what I would do. Just in case an enemy gets a lot of dodge tokens, you can do that. And then you can also point blank. The reason why we want point blank is because it has the combo token. The rest of his setup's pretty much normal. If you have all of his skills unlocked like I do, I actually like highway robbery because it destroys all positive tokens. So why would you bother do tracking shot other than highway? I guess because it can hit the 4th position and be used in the 1st, and this can't hit the 4th and can't be used in the 1st. But other than that, I think this upgrade's a little better, I think, in my mind as well. Eventually you can steal positive tokens, which means I think you can steal evasions, protection, and maybe critical. I'm not sure about critical. But yeah, I know you can definitely steal evasion and protection while removing it from the enemy. So highway robbery is insanely good, and so are his other skills. So the Highwayman is pretty easy. Obviously, we're going to start out with the point blank. So hopefully we outspeed the runaway. As you can see, they actually have the same base starting speeds, and I don't believe that's because of any quirks. So yeah, eventually you are going to want to get the Highwayman to a higher speed base than the runaway, but even if it doesn't happen that way, it's not the end of the world. The runaway has some really good skills as well to start, but if the Highwayman gets to go first, -2 stiff knees. Wow, that's really slow. Okay. So we start with the point blank if he goes first, and then we go into the runaway. Why are we going to the runaway? So the skills I like here, Hearthlight and Run and Hide can go off if you have a couple skills unlocked. Ransack and Cauterize are honestly the only ones I really put on. Now I will admit though, Firestarter, I believe that is useful, sorry, not useful, able to be used on items. Actually, Caltrops with Firestarter can be really good. And I'm also curious if it works with Magnesium Rain, which we'll look up real quick on the Plague Doctor here. As you can see, that adds 2 fire as well to a corpse, and upgraded adds 3, so you could potentially add 6 fire if you upgrade Firestarter with Magnesium Rain. Would be interesting, but you do require a dead body. So that is something interesting, but for the most part, I think Firestarter would be more of a gimmick, maybe more of the final boss. You get a couple of AoE hitting items, you can get 6 burn across the board. May not be bad that way. Haven't tried it yet, but not bad. And it could also be decent on Dragonfly if you have both these upgraded. You could do 6 DOT in 2 rounds, not bad. So those are things to consider. And then you could obviously backdraft as well, which may not be bad. But in my lineup here, we really like the 3rd position option because we do have a dancing party in the first 3 here, which you will see. I do upgrade Searing Strike first though, because it does get to 3 tick, as well as on the combo token there is a burn chance on a target adjacent to the combo token target. So obviously we do the point blank combo into Searing Strike. Typically that enemy is dead or will die by the burning DOT, and then you can already start your DOT on another target. So I think it's a pretty good setup that way. I do it often. I have great success. Great way to take down high HP enemies and get started on another person, as I said. Ransack's obviously good to pull forward because this party does lack pools, which is its biggest weakness during cultist fights. So I would recommend avoiding cultist fights with this party. It's really hard to get the little guys to the front row if your point blank isn't knocking back the bigger cultist guys. So this party is a little weak on that, and it's not terrible because there are a lot of blinds and a lot of back row stuff you can throw, but for the most part, if you're looking to pool, it's not the best of parties for that, and it is a glaring weakness. Smokescreen I think is amazing. 2 blind tokens, 1 target, upgraded. I think it adds a vulnerability and a 33% chance for a combo token. I can't remember upgraded. It has 3 things it adds. But Smokescreen's amazing because it can really take 2 turns off a bigger guy. If you give her a smoke bomb, you can do 4 blinds in 1 turns. I use this all the time for the final bosses. I use it all the time for Cultists, or guys that do heavy hitting, because you don't have to constantly be reapplying it. So I do think it's really good. It's obviously 0 damage, so it does suck if they resist, but I think it's good. Cauterize, one of the very few heals in the game that doesn't require an HP, it just requires bleed. Lots of enemies bleed. Works well with the occultist as well, so obviously you can heal anytime there. And then Fireflies, just in case you get knocked to the back there and you just want to throw some fire. It's not too bad actually. It gets the combo token thing as well. So if you actually have someone comboed in the back, you can hit them for 3 and then you can spread for 3. Actually, I think it's then 4, so you can do 8. So she's pretty good with combo tokens, which this party can set up pretty well. Now we get to the Jester. Honestly, the Jester's first 5 are really good by themselves, but if you have the other ones unlocked, you can kinda play around yourselves. I really like Harvest instead of Slice Off if I have everything unlocked, just because it hits multiple targets. It's not that much weaker, and the DOT's not that much weaker. You can kind of chip away a little quicker. Because you can't miss in this game, I mean, -2 damage from top end, 1 from lower end, crit chance the same one, but I mean, it's maybe on average 1 or 2 bleed. It's maybe about 2 or 3 damage weaker on 1 target, but you get to do it to 2 targets instead. So at the end of the day, it's actually same target damage essentially, which is really good. Fade into Black's amazing, blinds target while doing damage. Razor's Wits is good because it obviously moves him forward, gives himself evasion. You always want stress heal. Battle Ballad's maybe the one you could take off, look around. You could maybe do something like Encore, so someone gets an extra action. And the reason why that might be really good to do Encore is because we'll go to the Plague Doctor. So if you're to take that off, I would do something like that, and we'll see why we put on Encore. I think it'd be really cool for Plague Grenades once you get that upgraded, maybe, or even double Noxious Blast. You obviously couldn't double Point Blank, which is something you would want to do, unless you got immobilized. The only other thing I could think of is maybe you use Firestarter and then you actually use her the same turn as well, but I don't know if that's a particularly strong use. Not saying it couldn't be good, but not particularly strong. If you're not handling the final boss, I do keep Incision off, put on Plague Grenades, and I actually do like Magnesium Rain as well. I often take off Ounce of Prevention unless you're going to go into a boss fight where you know they're going to do some heavy stacks, such as the Harvest Child and Librarian. I really like to enjoy having Ounce of Prevention on, because well, the Harvest Child can do some raw damage, but the Librarian really focuses on that fire damage, so if you can resist a lot of that, you're not chasing fire and all of that. Obviously, Battlefield Medicine is just too stupid not to have, removes all the DOTs in the game. Magnesium Rain, this party doesn't have a body clear, so you will need this method. Not only does it obviously corpse clear, also burn some people while you're corpse clearing. Absolutely amazing. Blinding Gas is also amazing. So we have 3 blinds in this party. We have Fade to Black, we have Blinding Gas, and we have Smoke Screen. It's extremely useful to just keep blinding tokens stacked while doing damage. Now obviously Smoke Screen and Blinding Gas both don't do damage, but you can Smoke Screen the first row, Blinding Gas positions 2, 3, and 4, Fade to Black position 2, and then Point Blank. And that rate, you have the whole entire party with blind tokens. Now you haven't done a lot of damage. You've technically only had 2 damage abilities in the game. You've Point Blanked, and you've done Fade to Black. What's it, Fade to Black or Fade to Back? Yeah, Fade to Black. Okay. But the only reason why I would say you might want to start out with Smoke Screen is if your runaway goes first, maybe you don't want to do just a casual Searing Strike. Maybe there's a hard hitting person. You just want to blind them, then Dismas gets to go Point Blank, and then next turn you get to do all your damage, and then naturally Razor's Wit's your next choice. And then since you already used Blinding Gas with a one-time cooldown, you're going to have to either use Plague Grenades or Noxious. So really that first turn just allow a bunch of misses, and then that second turn you just maybe cut 2 people down. I've really found that to be enjoyable. You don't have to do that way. If you think you can burst through people with all damage abilities, obviously go all damage, but it is nice having that option of allowing blind tokens to work, get some evasion tokens up as well. The only other thing you could really do is the Indiscriminate Science. I know it gets pretty good once you upgrade it. The only thing is, it's like, if I have Battlefield Medicine on, the only one I could maybe consider taking off is Blinding Gas for it, but I really like Blinding Gas. Upgraded, it has a 33% chance to add a combo token. which we just talked about, really stacks well. The Jester also gets some nice combo tokens with Slice Off. No, that has vulnerability, my bad. The Jester has one that adds a combo token. I'm just forgetting off the top of my head right now. So this party should be able to give enough combo tokens to the Runaway for her to spread her fire. And it should also allow the Plague Doctor to have enough combo tokens as well to get the Noxious Blast, minus 30% Blight resist, which means this should be pretty much proccing every time, which is a big deal. Plague Grenades goes up to -4, and I think damage 2 to 3, which is really good. And as I said, since you do 4, you Encore, that goes 8 damage in 1 turn, with maybe about 4 damage casual for raw. So you can do about 12 damage to the back row 1 turn, and then the next turn it'll take another 8. 20 HP in the back row is probably near death for most creatures in this game, which is really good. You'll take that, and all it does is daze and give this guy a weapon weak status, which you don't necessarily care about too hard because you're looking more for the blinds or the bleeds. So reducing his damage in half is honestly not even that bad. That's my favorite lineup if I ever want to play casually and just absolutely wreck most of the time, except I will warn you, this party, at least for the first level occultist boss, not occultist boss, first level Cultist, I would avoid. I mean, I would recommend that in general, avoid Cultist, but this party specifically struggles extremely hard because there's no real good protection tokens, so you can't guard someone and take those huge Sundering Steels. Sundering Steel. You can't gather in the blood communes. I mean, your front row is a little squishy in the beginning until you can get some decent trinkets and like fast speed stuff to outpace and kill your enemies. So you will find it a little squishy initially, which is the only reason why I recommend skipping Cultist battles. Try to take as many road battles as you can. With this party, once you get to 2 to 3 mastery, we'll talk about which skills I often do then. I will upgrade Point Blank, just get that to 10 to 13. That's a lot of damage. I'll do Inspiring Tune for consistent stress. So that's 2, and then if I get 3, Plague Grenades isn't bad, and so is Noxious Blast. It really depends where I'm going. If I'm going to go into a Blight Heavy Resist area, it's a tough one. I mean, I might ignore it entirely. Maybe I might go Cauterized, 33% HP. I don't think I'll upgrade Smokescreen. I could do Wicked Slice, maybe Highway Robbery. You know, there's a lot of decent choices. But if I'm going to go somewhere like the Burning City, it really depends on. I usually take Noxious Blast because it gets 2 more DOT, and I like to focus fire in this game. I don't like to spread. It's kind of the same as the first one. 4 is nice in the back row, but it's obviously only useful for the first half of the fight. So if you have one kind of useless enemy in the back and you really want to have a big HP dude in the front go down, I do like having that on Noxious. So let me say it again. Upgrade Noxious, upgrade Inspiring Tune, and then upgrade Point Blank. That's only 3. If you get like a shrine, if you do your objective, let's say you get 1 from a road fight, it's not too terribly hard to get 3, though I have definitely gotten less than, I've definitely gotten only 2 in my first level, but I've also gotten as high as like 5 or 6. If you get 5 or 6, it's just, I mean, it's just skill galore, but I would say about on average I get 3. Eventually my next steps are to get Take Aim, Wicked Slice, Smoke Screen, Fade to Black, I think. Nope. Yeah, because Inspiring Tune's already upgraded. Actually, no, probably Harvest, Plague Grenades, maybe Magnesium Rain. The Plague Doctor really doesn't need a extremely kitted out thing. I might do Blinding Gas for tokens. So let me know what your favorite party is. Let me know what you think of the party I picked, but maybe how you play it a little differently. It could be played a little differently, but this is definitely a utility party. You want to be blinding and then striking, blinding and then striking. You definitely don't. There's no real strong protection, and these stress heals from the Jester should be more than enough. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked, and I hope you liked, and like and subscribe below.